Hi everybody, welcome back for another video with Healthier Help There. So today what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to do a dynamic warm-up so that you're warm and ready for your workouts, and also how to cool down properly with a proper stretch. So I'm going to start you off with a quote today. Go as far as you can see, and when you get there, you will always be able to see farther. So, before you begin any workout, you want to make sure that your body and your muscles are warm and ready to go. So what I'm going to show you today first off is how to do a dynamic warm-up. You want to make sure that when you're warming up before your workout, you're getting your muscles and your body moving, and after your workout is when you want to hold and do your static stretches. So we're going to start off today with a couple great exercises that you can do to get you warm and moving and prevent injury. So we're going to start off with your arms. A couple things that you can do to get your arms and your muscles in your arms and your upper body warm are arm swings. So what you're going to do to start with is start by swinging your arms in nice big circles, making sure that you're including a slight bend in your knees and getting through your full range of motion. So you want to do about 10 to 20 going forwards, 10 to 20 going backwards, and then what I always like to do is challenge people to try and do one arm forwards and one arm back. It's a good warm up for your body and a good warm up for your brain. From there, what you can do to warm up some specific muscles are what I like to call monkey swings. So swinging your arms up and over your head. This is a great way to warm up the triceps, the muscles in the back of your arm. None of these exercises should feel too difficult. You're really letting the weight of your arms do the work. So the next one we're going to do is forwards and backwards. You're going to put a slight bend in your knees, going through your full range, swinging forwards and all the way back. Next, warm up the chest muscles. We're going to put a slight bend in the knees, aiming your hands down towards the ground. And you're going to swing, letting your arm go up towards the sky. And at the end of each swing, you should feel a little bit of a stretch in those chest muscles. If any of this is feeling sore or uncomfortable, just bring it down and do it a little bit easier. The next one we're going to do is to warm up our core. So what you're going to do is stand with your feet just over shoulder width apart. Swing to one side and swing to the other. Okay. Twisting from the core and warming up both sides of your body. If you want, you can relax the arms and let them swing with you to give you a little more momentum. So now that we've done our core, we're going to warm up our legs. So there's a couple jogging exercises you can do to make sure that your legs are nice and ready to go, and I'm going to show you a couple of them now. The first one is jogging, kicking your heels up to your bum. So you can use your hands, okay, put them on your bum and kick your heels all the way up. And what this is going to do is get your quadriceps nice and warm. So you want to do about 40 or so kicks to get the muscles warm. The next one we're going to do is to warm up the hamstrings. So there's two options for this. The first one is to step, pointing your toes up towards the sky, reach down and try and drag your hand along the ground. So trying to keep your hips pointing straight forward, okay, not leaning sideways like this. You want your hips pointing straight ahead, reach down and drag your fingers. A little bit of a more advanced version of that, if you don't have any hamstring tightness, you can step, put your hand up towards the sky, reach and try and kick your hand. So the next one we're going to do is to warm up the inside and the outside of our legs. So you can use a stabilizing wall or railing if you have one. If your balance is good enough, you can do it without. And these are leg swings. So what you're going to do is swing your leg across and back out, across and back out. Again, you should feel a little bit of a stretch at the end of your motion, but it shouldn't be pulling or painful. Okay? Make sure you do both legs, swinging both ways. Another good exercise that I like to do as a warm-up for the front of my leg is a toe tap. So I tend to get a little bit of shin pain when I run, and sometimes I find that that helps decrease it. So what I'm going to do is show you toe taps. So this is to warm up your tibialis anterior. That's a muscle that sits right there on the front of your leg, and it's really easy. All you have to do is tap your toes on the ground. This looks really, really simple, but you should feel it right in that area after about 20 to 30 taps. You can do it with your toe pointing in, straight, and again pointing out. If you're not feeling it, It might be because you're bending your knees too much. So you just want a slight bend in your knee, and you're really using those muscles to pull your foot up and tap them back down. The next exercise we're going to do is to warm up the calves a little bit. So all you're going to do is a little bit of a bounce. Try and do about 30 to 40 of those as well, and that will just get your calves all warmed up and ready to go. So one last exercise we're going to do just to make sure your whole body is warm and ready to go is a mini squat with the jumping jacks. So this shouldn't feel too tough, it's just to warm you up and get your heart rate moving a little bit before you start your workout. So it looks like this. So just like a jumping jack, but we're putting a little bit of a squat in to make sure our legs are nice and warm. So that's your dynamic warm-up. You can do that before all your different workouts just to get your body up and moving. And now we're going to show you some exercises to cool down after your workout is done. So after your workout's done is the time to do your static stretching. So these are the stretches that you hold for about 30 seconds to make sure that you're keeping your muscles at a nice neutral length and they're not getting tightened up after you've been using them. I'm going to show you a couple of exercises to stretch the major muscle groups. There's many more stretches you can do, but these are some of the basics. So the first one is for the quadriceps muscle. So you want to stand, you can use a support if you're having trouble with your balance, and you want to bring your leg up, grabbing on to your ankle. What you want to make sure when you're doing this stretch is that your knees are in line, so you're not kicking your knee forward, pulling the knee back and the heel in towards your bum. A great way to make sure that you're feeling this stretch is to tip your pelvis under without moving your leg, and that will increase the stretch in the front of your thigh. So holding that stretch for 30 seconds, releasing slowly, and switching to do the other side. The next muscle we're going to stretch is our hip flexors. So this is a muscle that's tight on a lot of people, so it's a really great one to stretch out after your workout. What you're going to do is step one leg forward, get into a lunge position, but with your back leg straight. What you're going to do is tip your pelvis under again, so that means bringing your sit bones down towards the ground, keeping your body nice and tall, and making sure that you feel it in the front of your hip. If you're not feeling that, you can take a bit of a wider stance and get in that same position. So in this same position, we can also stretch out our calves. So you've got two major muscles in your calves that you want to be stretching out. The first one is done by leaning forward with your back leg straight. So pushing your heel down and back towards the ground is going to stretch it out. Again, holding for 30 seconds. And then to make sure we're getting the other muscle in our calf called the soleus, you want to bend your knee and do that same motion of pushing your heel back and down towards the ground. On to the next muscle. This one's the hamstring. So this is another one that's tight in a lot of people and a really good one to make sure you're stretching out. So almost the same way that we warmed up this muscle, we're going to put our heel down towards the ground, pointing our toes up, and we're going to stick our bum back, keeping our hips straight and leaning down towards the ground. Now I can reach down and touch my toes if I want, but I'm not increasing my stretch at all. What I'd rather do is keep my hips straight and my back nice and straight, pushing my hips down and maintaining a good spinal posture. So the next one I'm going to show you is one more lower body one. This is for your gluteals, so your bum muscles. What you're going to do is using a wall or a support if you need. You're going to stand up, you can lean back against the wall if it helps. Hold on to your knee and you're going to pull your knee up and across your body. So you should feel this stretch right underneath, pulling up and across, and holding there for 30 seconds. So when you're doing this stretch, you want to make sure that you're not slouching into a bad posture or you probably won't feel it in the right place. So pulling your posture nice and tall, using that standing leg to stabilize you, and pulling that knee right in and across towards your opposite shoulder. So for our upper body, in order to stretch our chest muscles, what we're going to do is bring our hands behind our back, interlace your fingers, and pull your shoulders back and towards each other. It doesn't matter how high your hands lift, as long as you feel a stretch. Next, we're going to stretch our tricep muscles. So what you're going to do is lift your arm up towards the sky, bringing your palm to face behind you. You're going to bend your elbow down, reaching up with the other hand, push the elbow back and reach down as far as you can behind your back. One thing you want to be careful of with this one is that you're not bending your head forward and allowing your elbow to sink. Make sure you're standing tall, looking straight ahead, and using the other hand to assist in the stretch. So now we're going to stretch out our backs. So one way you can do this is to cross your elbows over top of each other and bring your hands to touch. If you can't bring your hands to touch, don't worry about it. Just leave them as far apart as they need to be comfortable. What you want to do is separate your shoulder blades and concentrate on pulling your elbows away from you and slightly upwards. You should feel a stretch happening behind your shoulder blades and in the back part of your shoulder. Make sure you do this with both sides, switching the opposite hand underneath, pulling the shoulder blades away and angling the elbows up and away from you. So the last stretch we're going to do is for your biceps. So this one's nice and simple to finish with. All you have to do is bring your arms out to the side, point your thumbs down, and keeping your chest nice and tall, bring your arms back behind you, trying to touch your thumbs together. So those are our stretches for today. I hope that you use these before and after your workouts to make sure that you're avoiding injury and getting the most out of your workout that you can.